Okay, now that kind of leads me to my next question as far as the adoptive parents knowing the health of their child or their birth parents before they are adopted. I don't know how much information they're given, but a couple months ago with the case of the Tennessee woman who sent her 7-year-old son back who she adopted from Russia because she said that he had severe violent psychological problems that she was not aware of. I want to know how much information are the adoptive parents given on their child's health, their prenatal health, their parents. Are they given any sort of information, or is that kind of just a risk that they have to sort of take?
I just want to start out a piece on that because when we got our daughter, we knew almost nothing. But what we did know is we knew the people who were going to be managing the adoption. We knew the social workers on this side, we knew the social worker on that side, in Romania. And we really trusted that they had expertise and the ability to assess the child and be able to give us some pretty good information. And so that was one of the reasons why we decided to go to Romania, because we really had that trust that we were going to be basically taken care of and that we were going to be helped along the way, that this was going to be a collaboration. Now things have changed tremendously since we went 14 years ago.
Right. One of the components now is the Hague Convention, as I referred to earlier. One of the components of the Hague Convention on Intercountry Adoption is that countries that work in partnership with the United States have to give full disclosure when it comes to the medical, developmental, background history, and reasons behind the reason why the child was given up for adoption, if it is available. And I have to say if it is available because many times in intercountry adoption, there is the risk that you may not know if a child is abandoned, there won't be a way to find out about their birth parents. However, if there is information, any country that is a Hague Convention country has to give that information to the agency. That information is given by the central authority, which is the government of that country. They have to have proper medicals done. The physicians who are completing the medicals, are evaluated, also looked into by the Hague Department. So the U.S. State Department has taken an interest in this area and is focusing on this. So basically whatever information is available will be provided to families. And after the family around the time the family's getting the referral, the agency also is communicating with INS, and the families are providing their paperwork to show to INS that they have received a full translated copy of their referral package.
Okay, in your years of the adoption, with your adoption agency, have you experienced any families who have gone through this and who have wanted to send back a child? Have you had any families?
We are blissfully lucky. And we're very happy to say that in our 27 years, about 5,000 adoptions, if not more, we have never had an adoption disruption. And we are very proud to say that. We are very happy and blessed to say that. We keep in touch with our families. At this point, because we started in 1983, we now have some children that have grown up, gotten married, joined the military, have children of their own, gone to college. They keep in touch with us. At holiday time, we get cards, we get information. Many people do a second adoption. They keep in touch. When children have grown up, that we've gotten high school graduation invitation, bar mitzvah, bat mitzvahs. We're very close in touch with our families. In addition, many adoptive families do form these support networks. So, we do cultural events. So families do keep in touch with each other and do keep in touch with us. And a majority of our families come to us by referral. So that's also nice, is to say, Mr. and Mrs. Jones came to us because Mr. and Mrs. Smith were their best friends and are so happy. Yeah, and are so happy with their child and so pleased with their adoption that they've told their friends, neighbors, churchgoers, school teachers, that they've spread the word. And so we always know that adoption is going very well for people.
Okay, now I know that before adopting a child, the parents or parent must visit their child's homeland prior to adopting. Can you tell us a little more about that process?
Mm-hmm. Every country is a little bit different in respect to how many times you have to visit. You may have to visit one time for 2 weeks. You may have to make 2 visits. It really depends on how that country's court system works and whether or not they can complete the adoption abroad in that foreign country. So there's a lot of variance in that topic.
So it depends country to country.
It does.
Okay, Luisa, how long did you and your husband stay in Romania?
I think we were there for about a total of 10 days. And we went just a few days early so we could kind of look around the town and get to know it a little bit and taste Romanian pizza. There was a Romanian pizza place across the street. Just to kind of get a feel of everything before we went to pick her up.
Families really like to travel. That's one of the exciting parts, is preparing for travel, what kind of new foods they're going to be expecting, should they bring toys, what kind of clothes they should bring, what kind of diapers should they bring. It's a time of such excitement and joy for people that have maybe waited a while to have a child. You know, this is such a happy time in their life that they do like to go early. They do, you know, look forward to that trip with excitement. They like to bring sometimes their brothers and sisters or their other children, or they make it such an experience. And they also like to learn about the country they're adopting from, because they will always be able to educate their child that they went to their orphanage and this is what it was like and this is what the city or the community was like that you came from.
Can you share some of your experience of going over to Romania, the emotions you were feeling? Were you excited before, when you actually got to hold Leah in your arms? What was going through your mind?
It was complete shock, I think, that it was actually finally happening. It was a horribly long flight. I think that was the worst part of it. We got over there. Now, Romania was different. Like some countries, you go by yourselves, and we went by ourselves. China, you go with a whole group, and in the past, the groups were huge. They were up to 80 people sometimes.
Oh, wow.
We went just my husband and I, and we were greeted by the coordinator on that side and the driver, who packed us all in and took us to the apartment that was rented for us. And it was right in the little downtown area, and they took care of us. They were there with us for like 3 days. They took us sightseeing, they took us everywhere. We really got to be friends, and everybody who went through the Romania program really sees these people as family now, because they really did take care of us. And then on the morning that we went to get her, I remember they came in, it was just, we hadn't of course slept the whole night before. And we get in this little car, and it took us 2 hours, I think, to go up through this like mountainous thing. I was so car sick by the time we got there. And we went into the director's office because they did not allow you to go into the orphanage, so we couldn't go in and see, which was really sad. But we gave them our clothes, because you had to bring the baby's clothes and diapers. And then they went out and dressed her and brought her in, and I think she was as stunned as we were. We had one of the workers had the video camera, and one of them had the still camera taking pictures. And the director was like babbling in Romanian during the whole time. We had no idea, but we kind of stood there and did paperwork, and then I think all of us kind of like in a complete state of shock went back and kind of to the apartment, and we just kind of stayed in and got to know each other. And it was really a wonderful time. Not that any of us had a whole lot of idea what we were doing, but it was great. Unfortunately, my husband had to leave early because we got our call to go over really fast. It was like 10 days between.
Oh, wow.
When we signed agreed to the referral and when we were on the plane. And that was because they were having some elections, and they knew that once the elections went through, they were going to shut down the adoptions for 3 months until they reorganized. And so we really wanted to get over there and get the baby out so that she didn't have to stay in there a few more months, which would have really been detrimental to her.